All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. We are here to talk about all things investing. And just to give you a little background on the channel, we focus on Bitcoin, the Bitcoin miners, the EV sector, and small cap high growth stocks. So if you guys enjoy that type of content, please subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 5,000 subscribers. We're trying to make a push, so your help would be appreciated. And if you enjoy this video, please smash the like button. With that said, let's talk about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a quick overview. I'm not going to go line by line. This was where the market closed yesterday for the Bitcoin miners. So you will see this chart was very red. With one exception, the entire chart was red. A few highlights: CleanSpark was down over 11%. RIOT was down over 12%. So there were a lot of big movers to the downside, almost all red. Argo blockchain was up for reasons that I have yet to determine. So if anybody knows anything specific, they can drop a comment below and do us a favor and tell us what is going on with Argo blockchain, because they've traded on fairly normal volume. There's no new news at all. The only thing I see is that they made a little clarification on some debt issuance that they're doing. So having said that, to sum up, yesterday was a very red day for the miners. So today I'll just show what the board looks like right now. And again, this is another red day for the miners so far. We are about 1 hour into trading on Wednesday, November 17th. Everything opened about neutral. It has headed down red. There's a few standouts. HUT is down over 4%. Marathon is down almost 8%. Everything else tends to be down about 1, 2, 3%. Fairly small downward pressure on the Bitcoin miners this morning so far. Having said that, the day has just begun. I want to talk about the chart and show you a few things that I'm seeing. I am seeing, again, some indicators that we're due for a short-term move up. So the last time I saw indicators like this was just a few days ago, and we did get a nice short-term bounce for about 18 hours, and we had a strong run-up. But unfortunately, we hit a brick wall, and we have turned around and gone down ever since. Well, I'm seeing a very similar setup right now. I do believe that we have bottomed out, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. So I don't know how long. We may go sideways for a little while, but I do see the next move as being up in Bitcoin. But first, I want to establish a trading range that we're in, because we've got to break out of this range to one side or the other before we can truly determine what direction Bitcoin is going in. So we've had a purple line on our chart at $58,556. That was a point that we tested at 5 o'clock in the morning yesterday. So you can see we candle wicked down to that yesterday and then started a recovery. So since then, we have hit that another 1, 2, 3 times. The last one being here at 5:30 this morning. So you'll see we even candle wicked a little bit below that. But essentially, this line has held up as support in the short term. So at the moment, I think that that is strong support for this short-term range that we're stuck in. Now, I want to look at resistance. Since this candle to the downside, we have been stuck inside of a range. So I would like to add a line to the chart. Okay, I've just added a green line right here. It's at $61,658, so about $61,600. So that makes the bottom of our range at about $58,500 and the top of the range at $61,600. That leaves about $3,000 trading range that we seem stuck in. And you'll see what I did was this is the highest candle wick since we broke below this point. So we haven't even really touched that again. I could move this down really more towards here. Even as we bounce around up and down within this range, we've been stuck in this for a few days. So we need to see a breakout to one side or the other. Now, every indication that I'm seeing is that it looks like even if we retest some of these lines down here, ultimately, I think the next breakout move is going to be to the upside. So we're going to need to see Bitcoin get past this $61,600 level. I believe that could happen as early as today. If not, then I would think tomorrow or Friday, but we'll have to see how things progress. We really need to see a break one way or the other, because you can see I have two lines here. I had this $60,000 line that had held up for a long time. I did not think we were going to go below this line. However, you can see that for about 8 hours right here, we did go below this line and test a few of our other lines. I had talked about these two lines in yesterday's video, so I had mentioned that in the event that we happened to break 60,000, there were two pretty strong lines of support underneath it, and those were likely to hold. So thankfully, this purple line did hold, and I think that this will continue to hold. So again, I'm expecting to at most retest this purple line and stay above that. And then what we need to see is a break up and out of this green line at 61,600. That is what is going to tell me the bull run is back on. Now I'm going to zoom out for a minute and take a little bit bigger picture just to show you what's happening. Okay, this is the same chart but on the 4-hour candles. So Bitcoin set its all-time high on November 10th, which was just over a week ago. So from that point, the peak, down to this recent bottom here, which we reached this morning, that was a little bit over 15%. So 15% pullback in 1 week, 7 days, that is a very healthy correction. It's by no means a crash, and it's by no means uncommon in the Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency world. So we got ourselves a little 15% pullback here in the last week. I do believe this pullback is over. I don't know how long we're going to go sideways, and I think the next move is to the upside. From here to get back to our all-time high would be about a 15% move in Bitcoin. So we moved down in 1 week 15%. So I think it's entirely reasonable that we could move up over the next week 15%. So we'll have to wait and see. Again, what we're really looking for is this breakout above this green line here at 61,600. So that's going to be my first big signal that we're back on track, moving to the upside. I want to take a look at a few of the Bitcoin miners in particular because I think there are some opportunities right now. The first one I'd like to look at is HIVE blockchain. HIVE announced earnings the other day. Their earnings report was excellent. I will be doing a video on that shortly. So prior to that earnings report, HIVE had a nice run up in a short period of time from October 27th through the day they hit their all-time high, which was November 9th. So that's less than 2 weeks. They ran up 63%. So that was a gigantic run up. And it was this, you can see this 4-hour candle was the peak here on November 9th. So since then, HIVE has been moving in the wrong direction, down about 30% over the last week. So a lot of that has been downward pressure on Bitcoin. We know that these Bitcoin miners, are closely linked to Bitcoin's movement. So a lot of this was maybe taking some profits on a giant run up, and some of this is just the fact that there's been downward pressure on Bitcoin. But we find ourselves, in my opinion, at a buying opportunity on HIVE. I did buy some HIVE yesterday, and I am looking to potentially buy some more today. Although I will tell you, once again, I'm running out of powder, so I've got to be very selective about what I buy today. HIVE right now is down about 1.24%. They're actually down since they reported earnings, and the earnings report was excellent. So I think there are some other factors, mostly the pressure on Bitcoin, that has pushed HIVE down, but I'm looking at this as a buying opportunity. So again, this is not financial advice. I can't tell you guys what to buy, but I can tell you I'm taking a very serious look at adding to my already existing HIVE position. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is Bitfarms. Bitfarms also just released their earnings. I did a video yesterday on Bitfarms, so I would highly recommend checking that out because I did a deep dive on their earnings report, and there was a lot of important stuff in there. So big picture, I thought their earnings report was excellent, but once again, due to the downward pressure on Bitcoin, Bitfarms is down over the last few days. We may have missed the peak opportunity. So just from yesterday to the open this morning, that was a 10% pullback. So that was a very good time to buy in. It still may be a good time to buy in right now. I'm looking at this one. Bitfarms is my largest position, so it's hard for me to continue to add to this, but it is very tempting because it still has not gotten the proper bounce These green candles right here represent the bounce that it got off of earnings, but you can see it's basically given all of that back due to the downward pressure on Bitcoin. So to me, this represents a nice buying opportunity. Even where it sits right now, it's still 17% off of my short-term price target. So again, I'm looking at Bitfarms, don't know that I can add to it. And again, this is not financial advice, so you guys have to decide what you want to do with Bitfarms. The next miner I want to look at is HUT8. So HUT8 also had a very nice run. From October 29th, from the low on October 29th to the peak on November 9th, HUT was up over 38%. So that's less than 2 weeks, a 38% increase to the upside. So that was an excellent run for HUT. They also had earnings. Their earnings report was very impressive as well. But once again, due to the downward pressure on Bitcoin and probably some profit taking, HIVE right now is down almost 20% off of its recent high. So HIVE tends to be moving along with Bitcoin at the moment. So as soon as Bitcoin gets healthy and continues this bull run, again, I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't tell you with certainty where Bitcoin's going and when it's going there, but I believe we still have a lot of upside left. This nice little almost 20% pullback in HUT, to me, represents a very interesting buying opportunity. I actually did buy a little bit of HUT this morning prior to making this video. So that was one buying decision that I already made today. I have an existing position. I added a little bit to that position on this pullback. It just seems like a great opportunity to me. Okay, now I want to take a look at RIOT. RIOT from the close on Friday on November 5th through its high on November 15th. So that was just a little over a week. Was up 45%. So RIOT had a giant run up recently. Now RIOT had been lagging the other miners, so some of this was catching up. However, it may have gotten ahead of itself, so there was a natural pullback, probably some profit taking again. But RIOT announced earnings this week, and they were not well received. You'll see a giant gap down at the open yesterday of over 13%, and then it kind of rallied a little bit and pulled right back down. So RIOT has given back the vast majority of this run that it's had over the last few weeks. So it sits at a very interesting situation. I'm in the middle of preparing a video for RIOT's earnings. There was a lot of information in there. So I'm going to wrap it up by saying we're at 59,565 Bitcoin right now. So it is still fighting this battle at around $60,000. So we've yet to break to the upside or the downside. We're going to have to wait and see. So best of luck trading. Those are my thoughts on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.